let's talk about in 2022 what the best software is for your email marketing needs on Shopify this year. Hey guys, I'm Khierstyn Ross. I am the founder of Launch and Scale, and this channel we talk about all things launching and scaling physical product brands online. So if you are someone who is looking to create the next 7, 8-figure brand, potentially exit in the future, this is something that is an absolute passion of yours, so you are able to finally become your own boss and create life on your own terms. This is exactly what we cover on this channel. And today's video topic is how to choose the best email marketing software for you. Nothing is more frustrating than kind of going in blind, knowing that you need to do email marketing, knowing you need to grow your list, but then you see a ton of apps out there, some paid, some free, and you don't really know what you don't know. And the last thing you want to do is to get into the wrong email marketing software, realize it doesn't fit your needs, you're paying too much for it, or you're just not using it. So in this video, we're going to walk through 2 of the biggest competitors I see when it comes to who is the right fit for you when it comes to having an email marketing software for your brand. So we're definitely going to cover that in this video, how to choose an email marketing software. Is email marketing dead? Should you even be focusing on building your list? My assumption if you're watching this video is you have a ton of questions about email marketing. If that's you, say either yes or no in the comment. All right, first things first, before we go to comparing Shopify email with Klaviyo and see which one wins for a recommended app of the year, let's talk about why you should even care about email marketing. And is email marketing even dead because you're advertising on social media and all these other channels? The reality is that building your email list through customers and collecting their information, as well as building a subscriber list of newsletters, people that haven't bought your product yet, is the only way online right now to properly retain someone's information and own that contact info. When you have your email list, if you get banned from Instagram, TikTok stops existing, Facebook ads stop working for you, and all these marketing channels that you're going to integrate into your ecosystem, if any of those channels stop working for you, and if you haven't been building your email list, then you actually are going to be out of business overnight. So building your email list is a fail-safe way to make sure that even if you get banned from all your social media channels, you still have customer information that you own. This is another reason why a lot of sellers, a lot of Amazon sellers are starting to focus on building your brands on Shopify, because they understand that right now Amazon owns 100% of your customer data, and if they shut down your storefront, all of a sudden you're literally out of business overnight. So by building an email list on Shopify not only buys you freedom, but it's an excellent way to build a relationship with your customers. When done properly, email marketing can account for 15 to 25% of your monthly revenue. Because things that you can do with email marketing, again, this is not a video about best practices. If you want to see some best practices, definitely check out this video above. But best practices with email marketing can be to upsell your customers with, to bring them back. It could be if you have a subscription product and you want to make sure that they come back. It can be to get back abandoned carts. It can be to do promotions. There's a lot of stuff that through email marketing, when you own the customer data and you have the proper automations and kind of system set up on the back end, it can really work for you in terms of building your community and getting more sales and nurturing that customer relationship. So there's so many benefits to it that email marketing, it's still the only way and the safest way to build a company when you own the customer data, meaning you own the relationship. So that's email marketing. I am 100% yes, you have to still focus on email marketing and building your list in 2022. Okay, so the second thing I want to talk about now that you're like, all right, I'm committed to building my list. So an email CRM such as Shopify Email or Klaviyo is a place where your customer data is going to be stored. Okay, so why do you have to pay for a software just to store your emails? Well, actually having the right CRM, customer relationship management tool, is a way for you to set up powerful marketing automations and communicate with your customers. So the 2 apps that we're looking at today, we're gonna look at things such as how you can create lists or automations for following up with customers who have taken specific action. So for example, if you have someone on your email list that hasn't purchased yet, you're going to have that data and be able to send them an email automation or email follow-up to essentially get to nurture the relationship and get them to buy something in the future. If you have someone on your list who is a customer but hasn't purchased in 60 days, you're able to do things such as win back automations to get them to come back and purchase more, and a whole lot of other fun stuff. So email marketing CRMs are important important to look at and choose based on their functionality and what you can do to segment your list based on actions somebody has taken, what products they've purchased, how often they've purchased, how engaged they are, and so many different cool things that you're going to learn about today. Having an email CRM is massively important, not just for storing data, but actually the automations, segmentation, and functionality that you're able to do to communicate with your email list as you continue to grow it. And again, the software you choose is so important, because if you have a software that lacks the functionality you need to really put power into your email list and your email marketing efforts, you're going to be leaving a ton of revenue on the table. Okay, so let's continue. So if you're currently shopping for the best email CRM for you, you may be overwhelmed by your options. If that's you, say yes in the comments and let me know. But there's MailChimp, OmniSend, Seguno, Shopify email, Klaviyo. The list goes on and on and on. And how do you know what's the right one for you? So the two that we are focused on today is between Klaviyo and Shopify email. Now, the reason I have actually narrowed it down to these two is because for e-commerce sellers, Klaviyo is, in my opinion, the best email marketing software to get into. But when I talk to our clients, students, and just in general about why someone should pay a little bit more for Klaviyo because that's the more expensive solution versus a built-in Shopify email app that Shopify already provides. Like, why pay for a third party when you have something already built in with this software? Well, the reason is because there's actually a lot more to choosing the right software for you. So what we're looking at, number one, with having the right CRM for you is it needs to have a direct integration with Shopify. You don't want to be messing around with something where you need to hire a developer to manually install an integration, because that integration can break. So you definitely want to have something that directly integrates with Shopify. And that's where finding it in the Shopify App Store is important. Klaviyo and Shopify email both connect directly with Shopify, which is excellent. Number two, you need to have an email CRM that has the ability to set up powerful automations. This is where you'll see Shopify email isn't as, definitely not even by a landslide, not strong with their email automations versus Klaviyo function. Number three, having pop-up forms or having a way to collect customer information. Klaviyo has an amazing interface for templated pop-ups, inline embed forms, which means you can put like an email capture straight into your website, or to have fly-out menus that kind of on desktop will fly out to the side. So Klaviyo has this built in, versus with Shopify, to get a pop-up to get that same feature, you have to have another app to do that, and likely to get the customization you want to see, like have that pop up in the form look and act the way you want it to, you're going to have to pay for that, right? And that adds up, and having extra apps slows down your website. So we want to keep this as streamlined as possible. And contact syncing. You want to make sure that when you port over, if you're in MailChimp or if you're in another CRM right now that you're just not happy with, you want to make sure that when you port over the data into the new CRM, ideally Klaviyo or Shopify email, that you're able to still port over all the customer information, all the history, purchase history, etc. Okay? And you want to make sure that it pulls proper reporting and analytics. Klaviyo has advanced analytics for how your emails perform, how your abandoned cart sequences perform. So does Shopify email, but Klaviyo's analytics are much more advanced than what's currently available in Shopify email. Let's take a look at the two platforms themselves so you can get your hands dirty and like a visual in what each looks at. So to this point in the video, we have covered why email marketing is a must in your business, what an email CRM is, and three, what things to consider when you're actually when you are looking at an email CRM for your needs. So let's get into the top two as why Shopify email versus Klaviyo, and why Klaviyo is the winner for 2022. All right, so let's take a look at Shopify email first. And the reason this is in here is because this seems to be the obvious choice for a Shopify seller to use the Shopify app. It's much cheaper. It is built in. It is not a third-party app. It's literally made by Shopify. So it should be enough for your needs, right? Let's check it out. So Shopify email is an app that you can go to the App Store, download Shopify email, and then let's actually open it and see what happens. So Shopify email could do a couple things with it. They have templates. So when you want to do a campaign or a one-off email to your list, think of it like a newsletter or new product drops. It's where you can literally send the email right now to your whole list, or just only customers or people that haven't purchased your product. So you can segment that way. You can use one of their branded templates to make it easier for you not to have to build from scratch, which is good. So these templates are, they're pretty basic, but they're still okay to start with. And so let's say for installments, we want to use this as a campaign. So I'll select it so we can get into the back end of Shopify email. Okay, so this is their builder. They have a visual builder, which I love. I love visual builders because for me, I'm very good with simple drag and drop, just easy to use interfaces. So this is really good. Now, to send a campaign, you can design it and go from there. So it's good that you can send one-off campaigns, but again, that's pretty basic. So what else can we do with this? Well, on the left-hand side under marketing, these are campaigns. So they're one-off email broadcasts that you send to a specific section of your list or your whole list. But what I'm really interested in are these automations, because automations mean that you don't have to, anytime you notice that a customer leaves an item in their cart for 20 minutes, you don't have to run to your Gmail and say, hey, Betsy, I noticed you left this in your cart. Are you going to check out? Okay. An email automation allows you to prompt certain communication follow-ups based on user activity. So the standard one that Shopify has is your abandoned checkout. So your abandoned checkout is one that allows you to follow up after a certain amount of time that someone's left their item in their cart to hopefully have you retrieve that cart. So that is a abandoned automation. There are 3 or 4 key automations you need to start, which you can see in this video above. What are those 3 foundational email sequences? But you want to be able to do something such as post-customer nurturing or cross-sell and upselling. You should be able to do a new email subscriber, but a non-customer welcome sequence that prompts them to essentially nurture and build a relationship to get them to ultimately purchase your product. There's tons of different automations you could do. You can do automations, you can have automations like a win-back campaign that is triggered after 60 days of someone not buying your product again to get them to come back with an offer. But these automations, let's do create automation. These automations are not something that are just built into Shopify emails. So what I need to do to be able to build these automations is actually use a third party to do that. And they recommend for that third party to use Seguno. So Shopify email doesn't let you do much well except the standard abandoned cart as is email and one-off campaigns. So it's really basic. So if you want to get into Seguno, you're already bringing in a third-party app. So in itself, the functionality of Shopify email is so basic that if you want to get set up to do email marketing properly, I would rather have you set up in the right software, Klaviyo, to build it out and make sure that you have the foundations of your house built before you build the rest of the house. So even if you're just getting started, unless if you're on a crazy tight budget, which you shouldn't be, you should be able to afford like $30 a month for email marketing, because trust me, when you commit to this and you build out the automations and you focus on customer back-end communication, you're going to be making way more than that from your list. And so Klaviyo really pays for itself. Whereas with this, you pay, I think you get the first 2,000 or 2,500 emails free, and then you pay a certain amount per email after that point. So to a point, Klaviyo or Shopify email will cost you money. Let's look at Klaviyo, the winner, and why is it a winner? So first off, let's look at pricing. Estimate your price for email. So let's assume you're coming in with 500 emails, okay? $20 a month. No brainer. If you just go and you don't buy one coffee a week at Starbucks, you've paid for Klaviyo. So let's actually log in and see what you can do. Okay, so looking into the back of our Klaviyo account, Klaviyo is a service that is a third party to Shopify, which means you manage everything outside of Shopify by having an account at Klaviyo.com. So Klaviyo, you can already see, does way more. You can do SMS messaging completely built in. You can do sign up forms. You have a full analytics section. You have email templates. So let's just go like top down what you can do with this. You can do campaigns, which is great. That's a pretty standard feature for everything. But the difference that Klaviyo has with your campaigns, there's so much you can do in the back end for advanced segmentation that this is a really smart system to build into that Shopify right now does not have that feature. But again, Shopify is an e-commerce platform. They're not like email marketing specialists. So of course you wouldn't see the advanced functionality where Klaviyo is literally built around e-commerce. So this is the powerhouse you want for your email marketing. Klaviyo has something called flows. So that's their terminology for automations. So you could see with your flows over here that there's so much you can do. You can set up abandoned cart reminders. You can do customer win-back sequences for those that have purchased your product but after 2 months didn't buy it. There is so much you can do, and what I love with Klaviyo with this interface is you actually have the essential 4 or 5 sequences that you should start with. And so if we look at a welcome series, you can actually see too that these automations are templated. What? So what that means is that they're templated. So when you create the flow, it's already built out for you of what their like recommended follow-up sequence is, and you'll just need to go in and customize like maybe the time delay or customize the email. You might have a few more emails you want to follow up on, but they have the templates built in. So when you're just getting started with email marketing and you have no idea where to start, Klaviyo makes it really easy to start building the key flows that you need for your e-commerce store to perform. And they've got so many flows you can choose from. So whether you are just starting with e-commerce or you are a multiple 7-figure seller, Klaviyo has the functionality to suit both needs and help you grow into that. So there's a couple ways to look at their email templates. You can view a showcase, which is looking at some of the best performing emails that Klaviyo creators have sent. So if you're looking for inspiration, they have this as a roundup, which are awesome. You can also see templates by going into campaigns and creating a new campaign. And then you can see many more templates that they have available that are just not as boring, and they're a lot more fun and colorful. And they've got basic templates if you want something a little more standard, or themed templates based on things that you're doing. Sign up forms. So again, this is something that's already built into Klaviyo, which is excellent, because this is not included in Shopify email, so you will need to have a third-party app that you're likely going to have to pay for. But the Klaviyo sign-up forms, you could do 3 different types. You can do the pop-up, which it pops up. Fly-out menu, which comes in from the side, or you have the embed form, which is something that is embedded straight onto the page of the website. So you have different versions, and in the different templates, you're able to customize all of this. You have SMS conversations, which again is a third-party app that you will need if you're using Shopify email. And then there's just loads of different things that you can do with Klaviyo. So considering it's a pretty standard $20 to start, really. The way that Klaviyo works is once you're building up more functionality, your list gets bigger, they tend to chart, like it'll be a sliding scale, and you'll end up paying more money as your list grows for hosting, functionality, etc. As a starter, it's a no-brainer to get into Klaviyo, and there's loads that you can do with that. All right, so that ends up our roundup 2022, why Klaviyo is the best email marketing CRM for your needs. And since you stayed till the end, I want to give you a present. So below in the resource section, you're going to find a few free and paid resources you can use to launch and scale your e-commerce brand. Be sure to check it out. And apart from that, thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss new videos like this that we drop weekly to help you launch and scale your e-commerce brand. But apart from that, we have an email marketing playlist that has some of our videos to help you with best practices when getting started and making the most of your email marketing efforts for Shopify. So be sure to check that out. Anyway, see you next time.